So I keep reading about buyers who are basically, they're not participating, they're waiting for interest rates to come down. And I really wonder, are they hurting themselves in the long run? I get that affordability has to make sense. I get that there's fear in the market, but when you look at the numbers and you kind of look at the data, an argument could be made that there's a huge cost of waiting. I'm gonna explain that in this video and more, but do me a favor, before I dive into that, hit that like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you get more videos like this. All right, so let's talk more about the cost of waiting and exactly what I'm referring to here. I mean, I get that the interest rate that you have on your mortgage plays a role in the cost of owning real estate, but you've got other things that you need to factor into the equation. And one of them, I actually did a video on this last week about home prices. They're trending up. I know, it sounds crazy, but I explain it in detail here. But they're trending up, which means that even though we want to believe that the market's going to crash, the market's doing the opposite and basically going in an upward direction, which means that if you are waiting into the future, I mean, that, I don't know about you, but logically that tells me that you are going to pay more for something in the future than you could pay for it today, right? A dollar today is worth more than a dollar tomorrow, I guess you could say, right? So that applies to your real estate transaction. The other things that you got to factor into this, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated with understanding the numbers, but think about the time value of your money. Instead of making a rent payment, you're now paying down a mortgage liability and creating equity, not even with the appreciation that you gain, but just with paying down what you owe versus what it's worth. Then you add in that now that you're a homeowner, you're actually participating in the market and participating in that appreciation that we're talking about here. And then you got other things. Now, I'm not a CPA, nor do I play one on YouTube, but if you look at the tax law, there are also tax benefits of having a mortgage, having property taxes, insurance, and being able to basically deduct those from your income taxes. Talk to a tax professional for more details on that, but these all play a role in the cost of waiting. Now, I've got a really great tool where I can just basically put in a custom scenario and we can just kind of pretend on what the numbers would be to look at various examples. So let's hop into this. In this example, I'm assuming you're doing a $750,000 purchase price, putting 5% down and getting a rate of 6.75. You'd probably get a lower rate than that, but I'm just basically giving you examples here. Now, as far as the forecast for the appreciation, we took what the historic forecast averages are and even went lower than that in these assessments. Now, as you go across the top of this, you just see like in the next 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, just look at that first number there. We're looking at appreciation and that keeps going up, and that's going to be the price that you would have had to pay to buy the same house that you buy today's price in the future. As you can see, this could potentially cost you literally tens of thousands of dollars just on this portion of the cost of waiting. Now, this is actually showing the cash flow analysis so that you can actually see how much money you're potentially losing over time by waiting to buy instead of buying now at today's prices. Now, one of the main things in the cost of waiting is the loss of appreciation. But I mentioned you're also losing out on amortization, meaning your monthly principal and interest payment that you would have been making that is chopping down the balance of what you owe, further increasing your equity. So not only does it cost you more upfront and down payment and closing costs if you wait out in the future and you're buying at a higher purchase price, but it also costs you more on a monthly basis. So I mean, unless you're one of those people that you're out there watching this and you're like, Aaron, you're freaking crazy, the market's gonna crash and home prices are gonna fall apart. Unless you're one of those people, there's an argument to be made that waiting for lower interest rates is only going to cost you more in the future and potentially trap you into a spot where you can't afford to buy. I mean, think about this. You can always refinance when rates come down in the future if you can afford to buy at today's prices. But if you go into the future when interest rates are lower, that doesn't mean that home prices have been frozen in time. No, you got to deal with the market. And because of the lack of supply and the demand that still exists even with these high rates, we're seeing prices go up. So I got a question. Are you waiting because of interest rates? Do you think my numbers are nuts? Or what are your opinions on this? Put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Maybe I'll make a video about it. See you on the next one.